On a bright and peaceful morning, the forest slowly begins to wake up. Warm golden sunlight filters through the tall trees, and everything feels calm, quiet, and full of life. Ollie the little bear runs happily across the soft green grass, laughing and playing with his best friend Mimi, enjoying another beautiful and joyful day together. Mimi quickly tags Ollie and giggles with excitement, hopping away as fast as she can, starting their favorite game of hide and seek once again. Ollie smiles and begins chasing her, watching carefully as Mimi disappears behind the tall trees, ready and determined to find her before she wins the game. With a focused and determined look on his face, Ollie begins searching the forest, checking every corner carefully, wanting to win this time more than ever before. He looks behind bushes and around tree trunks, moving slowly and quietly, trying his best to spot Mimi while staying completely focused on the game. Suddenly, something shiny catches his eye nearby. A jar of golden honey sits quietly on the ground, glowing softly in the warm sunlight. Ollie's eyes grow wide with excitement as he stares at the honey, completely forgetting about the game and thinking only about how sweet it must taste. He looks around carefully to make sure no one is watching him, his heart beating a little faster as a tempting idea begins to form in his mind. Slowly, Ollie picks up the honey jar and smiles to himself, deciding to keep it hidden so he can enjoy every bit of it all alone later. Ollie quickly walks over to a large rock nearby and carefully hides the honey jar behind it, making sure it is completely out of sight from anyone passing by. He steps away from the rock and takes a deep breath, trying to act normal, even though he feels nervous and uneasy about what he just did. Just then, Mimi happily hops back into the clearing, her face full of excitement as she looks around, ready to continue their game together. She points toward the bushes and says she found a jar of honey earlier, but now it has suddenly disappeared without a trace. Ollie avoids looking directly at her, his smile slowly fading as he begins to feel a growing sense of guilt deep inside his heart. Mimi looks at Ollie with curiosity and gently asks if he saw the honey jar or knows where it might have gone. Ollie shakes his head and quietly says no, even though he knows the truth, choosing to keep it hidden instead of being honest. Mimi smiles warmly and suggests they continue playing, trusting Ollie completely and not realizing what really happened earlier. As Mimi hops away to continue the game, Ollie stands still, feeling something heavy and uncomfortable growing inside his chest. He looks down quietly, realizing that even though he has hidden the honey, something about this situation does not feel right anymore. Later that day, Ollie slowly walks back toward the rock, thinking about the honey he hid earlier and finally getting ready to enjoy it. With excitement growing inside him, he reaches behind the rock, expecting to find the jar exactly where he left it before. But the honey jar is gone, and the empty space behind the rock makes his heart suddenly drop with confusion and surprise. Ollie's eyes widen in shock as he quickly looks around, trying to understand what could have happened to the honey. He begins searching everywhere nearby, moving faster now, checking behind bushes and around the rock, hoping to find it again. Suddenly, a soft buzzing sound begins to fill the air around him, growing louder and making him slowly stop and look up. A group of bees appears above him, flying together while carrying the glowing jar of honey he had taken earlier. Ollie steps back in fear as the bees circle around him, their presence making him realize he has done something wrong. One bee flies closer to him, hovering right in front of his face as if giving him a clear warning about his actions. Then the bees fly away into the sky with the honey jar, leaving Ollie standing alone in silence, feeling regret begin to grow inside him. Ollie slowly sits down near the rock, his head lowered, feeling quiet, sad, and disappointed in himself for the choices he made earlier. Tears begin to form in his eyes as he thinks deeply about everything that happened and how his actions led to this moment. He remembers taking the honey jar and hiding it, wishing he had made a better decision instead of choosing to lie. Looking into the distance, Ollie notices Mimi sitting quietly near the river, far away, making him feel even more alone. Mimi sits peacefully by the water, but her expression shows a hint of sadness, unaware of the truth behind what really happened. Ollie slowly stands up and begins walking toward her, feeling nervous but knowing that he needs to tell the truth. He stops beside Mimi, unsure of how to begin, his heart beating faster as he gathers the courage to speak honestly. Taking a deep breath, Ollie finally tells the truth and admits that he took the honey and was not honest about it. Mimi listens quietly, feeling a little hurt, but she stays calm and thoughtful as she understands what Ollie is saying. After a short pause, Mimi gives a gentle smile, showing that she is ready to forgive him and move forward together. Ollie slowly lifts his head, and for the first time in a while, he feels a sense of relief as the heavy weight in his heart begins to fade away. He looks at Mimi and sincerely apologizes, promising from his heart that he will always tell the truth and never hide things again. Mimi listens carefully, then gives a warm and gentle smile, showing that she forgives him and still values their friendship deeply. They both sit together by the quiet river, enjoying the peaceful moment, as their friendship feels stronger and more honest than ever before. The next morning arrives with bright sunlight and fresh air, bringing a feeling of a brand new beginning for Ollie and Mimi. Suddenly, a familiar buzzing sound fills the air as the bees return, flying together while carrying a glowing golden jar of honey. Ollie and Mimi look up in surprise and wonder, watching closely as the bees gently fly down toward them together. The bees carefully place the honey jar in front of them, as if rewarding Ollie for telling the truth and making things right again. This time, Ollie smiles warmly and offers the honey to Mimi first, showing that he has truly learned the importance of sharing and honesty. Together, they laugh and happily share the sweet honey, realizing that friendship, trust, and honesty are the most valuable treasures in the world.